titles would also be addressed as 布衣. 布衣, yes, 布 is cloth, but here it means like not expensive cloth, like cotton or
common cloth.
Common cloth instead of, for example, silk. Silk would be considered
exquisite cloth
or expensive cloth. So people wearing expensive cloth must be someone who's rich. And in ancient China, I recall, if you are not working in the government or born in a royal family, there's certain fabric you are not entitled to use, no matter how rich you are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so 布衣 means the ones that are wearing common clothes made of common cloth.
It doesn't mean peasant, does it?
No, it can be someone who's a businessman and still wearing common cloth, right?
Okay.
Anyway, 布衣 started to be a fixed term for common people.
Okay.
So that's the idea. And another one I can think of would be 桃花源.
桃花源.
Yes, 桃花 is peach blossom, and yuan is kind of like a place with beautiful valley, rivers,
right?
and different character, same pronunciation, with mountains and something. Anyway, 桃花源. And 桃花源 means a place where people live carefree lives. And that is because there is this ancient Chinese article talking about the writer was lost in the forest, and he suddenly found himself in a village where people are not bothered by the outside world. They don't care who's the emperor. They don't care about, international affairs. They're not bothered by those. And they are living a carefree life regardless of the outside world. And that place was 桃花源. And after that, people started to use 桃花源 as a name for the places that are full of people living a carefree life. So that's another kind of 借代, another kind of borrowing a certain trait to refer to the whole kind.
I see.
So for our dear listeners, it's possible that you would hear your Chinese friends talking to each other, referring to some literal quotation, and it's hard to understand. If you find yourself understanding every character or every word in that sentence, yet you don't know what they mean, you can ask them, because most of the times it's because you didn't read the masterpiece in the Chinese culture.
Sure.
And you ask them, you will have one more knowledge in your Chinese-related database.
Yeah, I almost say for a lot of expressions too, they have a bit of culture and history in them, and you can understand all the words, but putting it together, it has a different meaning.
Exactly. So that would be 借代, metonymy. And the second one would be 排比, parallelism or parallel construction. 排比 is not all that hard, because 排比, I think the only rule I can think of for 排比 would be that it has to be similar structures, and there has to be more than 3. And the similar structure is not a hard to achieve goal. You can use the same word to start that structure, to start that sentence. In every sentence, and you have 3 of them. You can have similar structure in one of the phrase you're saying. For example, improve something and make something better, or add more of something. That'll be the similar structure.
So is that, as an example, earlier in the conversation when we had the sign on the wall, improve the awareness of eye protection?
Exactly.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
That's the perfect example. And the reason that I say it's not that strict is because we have Chinese couplets, and Chinese couplets would be a very strict parallelism example in the Chinese language. but we can talk about it later in other episodes. Here, you just remember when you see similar structures repeating themselves for 3 times, it would be 排比 in Chinese, and it's often seen in official documents or public speeches. It's just this person wanted to add a little bit of rhythm in their language, and they want to sound convincing, maybe sophisticated. Then 排比, this parallelism would happen. Yes. And after all the language-related points, one other very important point I want to make would be about your eyesight, 视力啊, 视力. Since I myself wear glasses, I really hope that I would know this when I was a kid. That is, outdoor activity is very important to your eyesight. Kids go outside, have some fun under sunlight, maybe not direct, strong sunlight, but still, that is a good way to reduce the possibility of getting nearsighted.
I think if you're outside, you're spending less time in front of books and less time in front of, smart gadgets and, things of this nature. So you're using your eyes less. So you're saving your eyes, I guess you could say. But I think you still have to be careful. You have to wear sunglasses because I guess too much sun exposure can also diminish your vision a little bit.
Yes, that's true. And another thing that I can think of is don't use your phone, use your smart gadgets in dark area during nights without a light on.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's true. It's a hard one, and I myself do it sometimes, I have to confess, but it's really, really bad for your eyes. If you're staring at your smartphone in a dark room, the contrast between the dark background and the bright screen of your phone would deeply hurt your eyes, and that damage would be permanent.
Oh man, so that makes me think about going to the movie theater, because that's pretty much what happens there. And I think that takes us to that place when we're on our phones watching a movie in the dark room.
Well,
like you're in your personal movie theater.
Well, actually, I would argue that in a movie theater, it's actually better than staring at your phone, because your phone only has a small screen, which makes the huge background dark, and the small screen emits all the light, and they go directly to your eyes. But in studios or in movie theaters, the screen is so big so that large amount of light go into your eyes, so your eyes won't feel the huge contrast between the really dark background and the one shiny point. So I would argue that theaters are better than staring at your phone in dark rooms.
Well, I'm sure we could have a discussion on that another time.
Yeah.
Not sure I agree with that one.
And actually, June the 6th, 2020, marks the 25th China National Eye Care Day. It is a day that all of us should love our eyes, 爱眼热, 爱眼热, should understand the importance of loving your eyes, of use your eyes in a healthful manner.
Just one day.
Not just one day. That is the day it's most, you should actively remind yourself of that. And for us, we work every weekdays, and it's very important to remember to maybe every hour stand up, look at somewhere else instead of the computer in front of you. Maybe have a walk. That is also a good way to protect your eyesight.
Sure.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Tony in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at chinaplus.cri.cn and go to the column 你好. You can also listen to the show and read the script on our Easy FM app.
There are also 3 podcast platforms for you to find us: Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. In case you'd like to listen to some previous shows and leave your thoughts, comments, and ratings.
感谢收听，我们下次再见。
再见。
要学汉语 I want to learn Chinese.
其实并不难 It can be fun.
欢乐汉语 Chinese Studio.
Welcome to Chinese Studio. 我是 Raymond.
And 我是亚杰. We're doing great here as it is our time to introduce some etiquette to you all.
That's right. We're not taking it anymore. We're putting our feet down.
Okay, before we go to the battlefield, let's go over the keywords of the day. Keywords of the day. Music. 音乐. Smoking. 抽烟. Turn down your music. 把音乐关小点声. No smoking. 这儿不让抽烟. All in today's Chinese studio.
It's getting loud in here.
Yeah, I feel like my ears are getting blown away.
Darn these kids. They're all over.
Yeah, their music blasting from their phones.
Bleh. Tell them to turn down their music. It's giving me a migraine.
Okay, well, this is how you say turn down your music in Chinese. 把音乐关小点声.
把音乐关小点声.
把 is usually put before the object.
把
音乐, the first tone and the fourth tone, which means music.
音乐
关小, the first tone and the third tone, which means to turn down.
关小
点儿, the third tone, which means a little bit.
点儿
声 is volume.
声